Hello beautiful people, we're cooking again and I'm going to show you something that you can put together as a main course for dinner in less than 10 minutes. We're going to do it right now in less than 10 minutes. So here goes. Did you know that when Jack went up on that beanstalk, before he did that, he had collected mushrooms. Did you know that? That's because he knew that mushrooms and beans, string beans that is, go very well together. So I also discovered that, and that's what we're going to be cooking today. The first thing I did is I turn on the heat under my trusty Dutch oven. I don't have a wok, so it is a stir fry of sorts in the Dutch oven. Here you go. It's hot enough for onions. So this is about half of a medium-sized onion, regular onion, chopped rough. When I mean rough, I mean size is about this big, like this. And if you like it to be chopped smaller or diced, that's fine too. And we're gonna leave it here for a minute. Now start counting. This is math here, people. Alright, start counting. We're leaving it here for a minute. And we already have diced garlic. Now, I love garlic. I use a lot of garlic. Dracula never comes flying around this house. And so this will take, in my kitchen, it'll take about 4 large cloves of garlic. This is diced. But we're going to wait a minute, and now it's half a minute left, of the onion getting softer and translucent. We don't want it to get really fried, but sort of sauteed. Now this Dutch oven is now on the highest heat possible because we're pretending that we're stir frying, you know. So here you go. The minute is up. Onion is soft and translucent. And we're throwing garlic in here. Here you go. This was a heaping teaspoon. So yeah, it's up to you. It's up to how much you like or dislike garlic, and lots of it. But we do, as I said, so 4 large cloves of garlic give you a heaping teaspoon of diced garlic. Here you go. And as this garlic is getting nice and fragrant and it's gonna get a little golden in a moment, to help it, that was about half a minute. Are you counting? I have an inch, here, I'm gonna bring it closer here. I have an inch of ginger, fresh ginger, grated, and that gave me almost a 1/4 cup of grated ginger. Again, that's all a matter of taste, how much you like or dislike grated ginger. Or if you want to look powdered ginger, I have no idea how much of it will go here. I don't do with powdered ginger and other stuff. Alright, another half a minute. You hear it making interesting sounds. Let me tell you, beautiful people, if I had mustard seed, I would have started it not with onion but with mustard seed, and just throw a few of them mustard seeds here and cover it until they start popping and making that interesting sound like this. But I don't have mustard seed. I ran out of it because We're still in a complete lockdown, very serious lockdown. If you get the news, you know the situation in South Florida. And so all ethnic stores are unfortunately closed. All right, garlic is getting done, onions are done. It's time to start with serious stuff. And the serious stuff is mushrooms. That's the mushrooms that Jack collected before he went up that beanstalk. And I want to show you they're sliced very thin. This is about a half a pint of mushrooms. All right, goes in there. Half a pint of mushrooms sliced thin. And still stir frying. At this point, we want to add a little liquid to it. And the liquid we add to it is sesame oil. It just says oil, but it's sesame oil in this bottle. And I just splash, like my grandmother used to say, 3 splashes. So I put 3 splashes in here, or however much you like. And at this point, that was a minute. A minute. Yes, okay. I'm going to cover it. And I'm going to give it another minute because we're almost ready to throw in there half a pound of string beans. Now what I do with string beans is when I get a good bunch, fresh that is, when they're in season, I wash them, I clean them, I blanch them, and I freeze them, as I freeze everything else. All the veggies and all the herbs, everything else. Alright, mushrooms are ready for string beans. We're throwing in string beans. And it's okay that they're still a little bit frozen. I got them took them out of the freezer about an hour ago because I want them to retain the texture, to still be crunchy. I don't want it to be mushy. I was throwing bowls in there in the big sink. Alright, so I keep stirring. It's a stir fry, right? So you have to keep stirring. And at this point, I'm going to start the seasoning process. Here we go with the seasoning process. So I will add half a cup of diced tomatoes. That was what they call soup tomatoes. I guess when their big tomatoes go soft, they start calling them soup tomatoes. And I dice them up and freeze them just like I freeze everything else. So that whenever I need something, I always have it in my freezer. Some things I portion out, some things are just in a large container. The next thing that goes on top is fresh chopped cilantro. And that is as much as you want. Right? This is a good half a cup of fresh chopped cilantro. But if you don't like the taste of cilantro, feel free to put parsley in there. It is neutral. And one after another. So here goes. Light agave. 3 splashes. 1, 2, 3. Like this. Worcestershire sauce. Now the story with the Worcestershire sauce is that there is no kosher fish sauce that exists in all Oriental cooking. And it's a large part of many recipes. So I looked up the ingredients and I thought, where could I find the ingredients found in the fish sauce? And guess what? Worcestershire sauce. Very close. So I don't know. I've never tried the fish sauce. Okay, 3 splashes. like this. Next comes soy sauce. Now I use reduced sodium tamari gluten-free soy sauce, 3 splashes. And my husband likes it a little saltier than that, especially since this is reduced sodium. I'm gonna give it another stir. And so I just put the soy sauce on the table when we are having this for dinner, as we will tonight, and let him add it to his own plate. I don't like that much salt. My secret ingredient, light sweet red wine. Alcohol cooks out, as you know. Again, well, this only takes 1 splash. There's not even 3 splashes. Otherwise, it's going to become too liquidy. And another secret ingredient. This, fortunately, is found not only in an Indian store that is closed right now, but also in kosher stores. This is garam masala. It's an Indian spice, and it's a combination. It's not one spice, it's a combination of several spices, and it's absolutely delicious. It enhances the taste. If you put more of it, it's going to become quite spicy. But this is moderately, very moderately spicy, and it's also considered very healthy. So I do put it in here, and in combination with garlic and ginger, let me tell you, it gives it a very, very interesting taste. Spicy without being very hot. And the last thing we're putting in here, we're sprinkling it on top with sesame seeds. As much as you want. Many? Much. Okay. My husband's dietitian makes me count beans, lentils in a bowl of lentil soup. I've already written about it, but fortunately I don't have to count sesame seeds. This is done, beautiful people. It's all done and gone. But we're gonna do one more thing to it, and that is I'm gonna take a little bit off, just a little bit, because this is too much for the two of us. There are more things that will be served with it, as you will see in a moment. And so I'm going to take a little bit off for tomorrow's dinner, where I would add something interesting to it, like, for instance, extra firm tofu. But today I am adding, yes, some sauce is absolutely necessary. You see how, I'm going to try to show it to you. You see how much liquid is in there. Right? This is for tomorrow. But for today, tonight's dinner, I am adding one of my favorite ingredients that will add protein to our dinner. There's enough protein, of course, not enough, but there's a lot of protein in both mushrooms and string beans, but this is just so delicious, and that is beefless ground. So here, as much as you want. I added just a handful. That'll be enough. With everything else in here, that'll be definitely enough. One more minute. One more minute. Just for that beefless ground to absorb the delicious sauce, and we're done. We're ready to plate it. So I already have I already have rice on it. This is as much as my husband is allowed, which is it's brown rice, combination of brown and wild rice, and it's 3/4 of a cup exactly. So I'm gonna add his portion. And of course, those of you who like it hot, you could add any kind of hot peppers that will go here right after the mushrooms. Not with beans, but with mushrooms. And yeah, some like it hot. And every time I say some like it hot, that reminds me of Marilyn Monroe and her ukulele, you know, in the movie. And she couldn't sing. In the movie, Some Like It Hot. She couldn't sing to save her life, but even when she sang Happy Birthday, Mr. President, she still couldn't sing. But it just reminds me of her. And what I'm doing now, beautiful people, is complementing all this by putting in some pickled veggies, pickled cauliflower, pickled carrots. They come together, they pickle together, and kale stems. All this stuff is pickled together, and I'm sure that it will add an interesting taste dimension to my husband's tonight's dinner. There it is. Here are the beans and mushrooms and rice and my pickled vegetables. Thank you very much, beautiful people. Till next time. Bye.